He's already went before you and established the plans for your life. You might be going through a process. You might be going through a struggle. You might be going through confusion, but you have to understand the Lord is already before you. He already has plans. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. That is not the final say for your life. So remember, trust the process. Let's pray.
Come on up, Jasmine.
Too much.
Well done. Yeah. Tell us about your film.
So it's based off a season that I was going through at the time. Everything y'all saw in the film was like true. A lot of y'all seen me around the school, cleaning the toilets and the bathrooms and everything. That's really a true story. I went through a season over the summer where I ended up having health issues, where I had like seizures and I lost my car, my job. My family was going through a tough season with our house. And so the only way I could have stayed on campus or come back to school is if I worked for the school, working off my rent. And so I went through a season of embarrassment because it was times where like I see my friends in the hallway and I like try to hide and go back because I was embarrassed because I couldn't tell people like, you know, I'm struggling. This is the only way I can stay on campus. And so my senior year started out very rough. Again, seizures, couldn't drive, couldn't work. Family was going through hard times. And so that's kind of how that was made. And so, yeah, that's what inspired me to write it.
I'm blown away. How did you come up with the idea of these little notes? Did y'all catch that?
No.
Like the notes were for her, from her. That's such a beautiful concept. Tell us a little bit about what was in your mind when you were, because taking an autobiography, just like, hey, I went through this, and that's where the semester began. Was I went through this thing and it was hard. But again, we don't want to just do an autobiography. So it talks about the mindset shift from autobiography to art.
So I kind of had the mindset of like while in the middle of the process, I was like, what would my future self tell my current self? Because there was times where I wanted to give up. And so I thought about like things that I would tell myself, like, hey, even though you're going through a process, it won't always be like this. And so that's where I had the thought of, let me just encourage myself throughout the process. That's where I came about writing scriptures and encouragement, you know, all of that. So yeah, it's kind of how it came.
Can y'all relate to that?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of your future self, sending yourself now a note when you're going through something hard? That's such a cool concept. I've never really considered that idea. I might even try actually doing that. Like, what a cool practice would it be if we all left this premiere night with this idea of there's a future version of me that's really successful, living life. Like you as the president of the school, I'm guessing that's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a boss. So that version of you writing back to you right now. Like even, let's just pause for a minute. Think of that version of you 15 years from now. Nailing life. Are you going through something right now that version of you could comment on and encourage you through? Like that's what this film makes me feel like. This actually might change my life. Like what does the mature, like I've made it to the end of the race, successful old man think about me right now and what I'm struggling with? What would he say to me right now to encourage me and keep me pushing? What would the version of you 15, 20, 30 years from now say to you right now? That film makes us think those things, that God could use that to change our lives. How many of y'all can see Jasmine as a public speaker, as a preacher, as someone sharing the gospel? All 4'8", good powerhouse, big voice, and big art. Good job. Well done, Jasmine.